Hey there, toy collector friends and Batman fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the time-traveling toy collector, and this is the Hero Collector Eaglemoss Batman Batmobile from Batman Forever, the motion pictures from one of the original Batman film franchises. I feel like there's got so many going on now, it's hard to keep track. But yeah, this was one of that original set of taking Batman back into the to the big screen, and I have to say it's sort of one of my favorite designs, and it was a request from one of the YouTube viewers and subscribers that I cover this particular model, so here it is. Again, if you are a fan of Batmobiles or any of the Batman Batmobilia collection, or there was anything that you missed and you want to have a close look at it, let me know in the comments and I'll dig it out, because I have the entirety of the collection, so I can dig it out and I can make that a priority video for this particular range. So thanks for nominating this, and we shall have a close look at it. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the vehicle, however, do smash that like button, and also drop a free subscription to the channel. It costs you nothing, and it's a gigantic step for me towards my next subscriber target, so that's really fantastic. And again, once I reach it, I'm hoping I can get around to doing some kind of giveaway, because I do have a few things that I've amassed that might make for an excellent giveaway once I hit a very particular subscriber number. So anyway, contribute to that, smash the like button, and on with the show. So this was issued as part originally of the Eaglemoss Hero Collector models range, along with the magazine that it came with. They're presented with this diorama at the back that's lenticular, which we'll have a look at in a second. Bat logo on the top, this sort of pseudo crystal casing that gives you sort of more or less 360 access, well, not 360 because you can't see in the base, but more or less complete access to the vehicle itself, so you can see it is bolted in, as they all are, to make it nice and secure. But that doesn't stop it looking really effective, and of course you could unscrew it should you wish to take it off that plinth. So I'm going to go straight in and take this case off. There we go. It is secured with some tape. Apologies for that temporary loss of vision. I'm going to pop this back over here for a second, just while we look at the lenticular backdrop. And again, because this is from a cinematic release, it is supposedly a cinematic cell, but it doesn't particularly translate well into that pseudo three-dimensional lenticular backdrop. I don't think this is one of their best, and that's one of two major critiques that I have for this particular element. The other one is one that you'll hear me say probably quite a few times, but I'm going to pop that into there so I don't accidentally lose it. So here we have the out of the box, as far as we can make it, variation of the Batmobile, and I really like this iteration. I think it's really sleek. I think these fins at the back are something else. I mean, look at the size of those monsters. They are absolutely incredible. They really are. And we'll go over some of the surface detailing in a second, because I do think it's really excellent. Again, look at that blue pulled out there, you know, buried within the chassis of the car. It's just great. It's there on the sort of where we would assume the engine might be, or parts of the engine workings might be, but it's also there along the, well, you can't see it if I do that, imbecile. If you look along the side there, you can see it. But it's really well detailed. I think it's a beautiful element to have in the collection. The thing that bugs me is that by the time this one came out, as with many of them, we were now beginning to see less and less detailing on the supporting plinth. So in the past we'd had crates or skylights, or we'd had, even in a couple of instances, we'd had some figures. increasingly it's getting less and less. They're just giving us the bog standard vehicle. Don't get me wrong, sorry, dog hair's not included. Don't get me wrong, the vehicle quality, I think, in terms of the detailing, the mold and the paintwork, etc., it's really high. It's really high end. It's really excellent. I love it. I really do love it. But it just adds to that presentation element. And I think this may be a bit of an issue that we've seen over time with Eaglemoss and Hero Collector, is they come in quite strong with some really great models and some additional features, and then those additional features sort of fall off, possibly as cost-saving exercise. And of course we all know what happened to Eaglemoss in the end, but that's a tale of the past. So anyway, let's get a bit closer. So from the front elevation, it's a really lovely sort of stealth vehicle. You've got those very shinily detailed canopy windows there. I really like how they translate on this vehicle. Would it be nice for them to have been transparent so we could have seen inside? Actually, I don't think it would have been, because I don't think that's how the original vehicle looked. And I think this gives it that sort of element of mystery that is deserving of a Batmobile of this nature. Let's come in a bit closer around the front. So we've got that sort of silver on well, it's not exactly the bumper, is it, let's be honest, but it is that sort of front portion where we've got that silver. We've got that lovely flow here of the lines from the frontal portion of the vehicle as they come in over the hubs of those front two tires. You can see those little headlamps at the front as well, which I think is a very nice touch. So as we move along, so that we've got this sort of lattice effect that comes over the front that blends seamlessly, beautifully with those hubcaps there. And of course, taking those hubcaps sideways, we can see that they very much have the bat signal front and back on those silver hubcaps on those wheels. What more can we see? So we move along. We get that lovely blue inlay, that sort of surreal neon light inlay on that frontage there, which is also duplicated on the side panels here, which you can see, and that's duplicated on both sides, of course. So we move along, we get that sharp little fin there with the cutout, and it's really huge. I mean, that's a really huge, and actually quite sharp. It's actually, if I'm touching this, it's very sharp. So again, parental or guardian or carer discretion advised if you did ever have this or do have this and want to let a young child explore it and play with it, please be mindful that you run the risk of pointy sharp bits and all the consequences that can bring. Also, I would say these two fins particularly are screaming out to be snapped off. I've been very, very fortunate with all of mine, pretty much, that any extremities have been very well protected and they've not had this issue, but I think we can see how easy it would be for that to happen. So be mindful of that, would be my advice. A sort of top to rear elevation there. Again, you can see those sweeping lines on the main body there. As we come back here to where we have the main booster. I keep thinking I should take them off this to look at them, but because they do sort of inhibit the view from time to time. However, you can see we have the silver thruster here nestled amongst this wing or fin display area here. I'm hoping you can see it as well as it, on the camera as well as it is in real life, because it is a sort of nice, almost gunmetal grey. The interior of it is a little bit darkened with a bit of carbon scoring from where it would be firing its boosters. In terms of additional detailing at the back, there really isn't that much. Let's see if I can pick it up there. But yeah, there's not really too much else to see around the back of the figure. That thruster pretty much constitutes the extent of the detailing there. But I think it's fair to say that overall, this particular iteration of the Batmobile is one of the most iconic and one of the most stylish. And if you've been collecting or have collected historically the range of these, then you already know excuse me, you already know just how many of these there are, and how in some instances they're slightly less iconic. They're slightly less I'm trying to be polite about it. They're slightly less eye-catching. But they are all true to the legacy of the thing. So I'm not being a mean kind of appreciator of what we get, but I do think it's worth noting that some of the designs are, I'm going to go with far more iconic, far more eye-catching, far more Batman-y, for want of a better word, than others. And I think this is one of those that really does an excellent job of catching the attention and standing out. I'm just going to try my utmost, because these fins always make me a bit nervous, just to reattach the crystal casing over the top with that backdrop in it, so we can get that sort of full effect of how it would look, and how indeed it does look in display with my others. And I think it's a good robust model, and I for one am very glad that I have it in my collection. Does, however, the Eaglemoss Hero Collector Batman Forever Batmobile belong in your collection? Does it warrant a slot on your shelf or a place in your presentation? Well, for me, it's a no-braining yes, because I think it's a really, really well detailed. Whatever you might think of the film, whatever you might think of any other aspect of it, I think the Batmobile is really, really well done, and an excellent design overall, and really I think suited the Batman who was driving it, shall we say. Is it perfect? Well, the trouble is, there is no one perfect Batmobile. There are those who are now saying, I think you'll find the 1960s Adam West Batmobile is as close to perfect as you ever need to get. And I fully appreciate that. But I think, I wouldn't probably put up too much of an argument with that one either. But I do think that there's a lot to be said for the evolution of the Batmobile, reflections on classic Batmobiles, the nuances of more modern Batmobiles, that perhaps don't even shy away from being called Batmobiles because of the connotation with the 1960s comparisons. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to see what people think in the comments around what constitutes an iconic Batmobile. What do you think is the most iconic Batmobile? And again, as I mentioned at the top of the video, if there is a particular vehicle you want me to have a look at, let me know in the comments and I will prioritize it for a future video. I've already done a couple more Batmobile Automobilia ones that are locked in to go out already. But if you do have one or two that you're particularly interested in then having a look at, then let me know and I will dig them out and put them front and center before the camera in the very near future. Thank you very, very much for spending the last 15 minutes or so with me. You've been a lovely audience. Again, thank you for liking the video if you have. If you haven't, please like the video. Thank you for subscribing to the video if you have. If you haven't, please subscribe to the video. Thank you very much. The channel appreciates it. I appreciate it. And I'm sure if he could, Batman would appreciate it as well. Thanks again. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. It just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care and bye for now.